Every single year, fans and analysts try to find that one stat, just one that can help predict the outcome of the NBA Finals. Maybe it's who scores the most points in the clutch, who shoots the highest percentage from three, or who dominates on the glass, but almost every time the numbers fail us. Just when we think we've figured it out, some wild card team comes in and breaks all the rules. But this year was different. This time, two specific stats didn't just offer clues, they told the entire story. Stats that were right in front of us the whole season, quietly pointing at who would rise to the top. And now looking back at the path to the finals, it's almost eerie how accurate they were. Let's rewind. All season long, the narrative shifted from one dominant team to another. Early on, the Bucks looked like a powerhouse. Then it was the Celtics. Then the Thunder started shocking everyone. And by playoff time, nobody could quite agree on who the real favorite was. The league felt wide open, but while the spotlight was constantly shifting, something else was happening behind the scenes. Two stats were quietly shaping the future. The first was turnover differential, not just how well a team takes care of the ball, but how often they take it away from their opponents. We're talking about the gap between turnovers committed and turnovers forced. A stat that often flies under the radar but has quietly decided more playoff series than any other number this year. Look at OKC. In the regular season, they led the entire league in turnover differential, winning that battle by an average of 5 points per game. That's not just good, it's double what the second-place team managed. And that dominance didn't fade when the game started to matter more. It got even stronger. In the first round against Memphis, that margin exploded to 9 points. Then against Denver, nearly 7. And now, in the finals, they're still winning it, still controlling possessions, still dictating the terms of the game, not with flashy plays or superstar moments, but by simply never giving the ball away and taking it from everyone else. And it's not just about raw numbers, it's how they're doing it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the quiet engine behind OKC's machine, averaged over 30 points this season with less than 2.5 turnovers per game. That's never been done before in NBA history, not by Steph, not by KD, not by LeBron. He's setting the pace without ever giving up control. Then you've got Jalen Williams, Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, wings who aren't just solid defenders, but actual play wreckers. Guys who can pick your pocket, jump passing lanes, and pressure the ball full court without fouling. The Pacers told a similar story, just in a different way. They weren't quite as sharp on defense during the regular season, but they were one of the best teams at taking care of the ball. Tyrese Halliburton averaged 1.6 turnovers per game while dishing out nearly 10 assists. That's the best assist-to-turnover ratio ever from someone putting up those numbers. And just like OKC, Indiana's success wasn't built on overwhelming you with athleticism or talent. It was about winning the math battle. More possessions, fewer mistakes. By the time the playoffs rolled around, both teams had their identity locked in. Protect the ball, take it away, and run like hell in transition. And because that's the second stat, the one that, paired with turnover differential, practically wrote the script for this year's NBA Finals. Transition points. This isn't just about playing fast. It's about punishing mistakes, turning every loose ball, every live ball turnover into instant offense. The Thunder and the Pacers led the entire playoffs in transition scoring. OKC turned their defensive pressure into a flood of fast break buckets, with Shai and J-Dub slicing through open space, and Chet trailing for threes or dunks. The Pacers did it with pace, spacing, and constant movement. Every rebound was a green light, every miss a chance to run. During the regular season, Indiana averaged more transition points than any team in over a decade. And in the playoffs, that number didn't drop, it went up. Same with OKC. Against top-tier defenses in high-pressure moments, they still found ways to run. still found ways to catch opponents flat-footed. Now think about what that combination really means. You're not giving the ball away. You're forcing the other team into mistakes, and every time you do, you're turning those extra possessions into easy points. You're not just winning, you're doing it without having to win in the half court where the game slows down and stars usually take over. You're controlling the game on your own terms, and that's what got us here. Not just flashy highlight reels or individual brilliance, but a calculated dominance rooted in control. 2 stats, turnover differential and transition scoring that revealed who was truly built for postseason basketball. But that's just the start, because in the second half of this script, we're diving even deeper how those 2 stats didn't just explain the path to the finals. They might have predicted the exact outcome before Game 1 was even played. These 2 stats predicted the NBA Finals. As the finals tipped off, the spotlight naturally fell on the stars. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Tyrese Halliburton, Chet Holmgren, Pascal Siakam. The headlines talked about shot creators, clutch moments, and who would step up when it mattered most. But just beneath all of that noise, those same 2 stats, turnover differential and transition scoring, continued to shape the story, one possession at a time. Let's start with turnovers. In the opening games of the finals, it became obvious that the team winning the turnover battle was dictating everything. Each time OKC forced Indiana into early mistakes, they didn't just take the lead, they took control. You could feel the momentum shift with every live ball turnover. Every deflection became a fast break. Every misstep by the Pacers turned into 2 easy points for the Thunder. And in a series this competitive, those small swings became the difference between winning and losing. In Game 1, OKC forced 17 turnovers and only gave it away 9 times. That's an 8-possession advantage in a finals game. That's 8 more chances to score, 8 more ways to control the pace. And that's the thing, pace. It wasn't just about who ran the most or who played faster. It was about who controlled when the game sped up. And OKC was dictating it every time they got a stop. But Indiana adjusted. In Game 2, they tightened up. Halliburton slowed things down, made safer reads, avoided risky passes. The result? Fewer turnovers, more half-court possessions, and a narrow win. But the margin was razor thin. And even then, transition points nearly swung the game back to OKC in the 4th. That's the power of this formula. It doesn't need perfection, just one mistake, one long rebound, one tipped pass. And it's off to the races because that's what makes this so lethal, the conversion. It's not just that these teams force turnovers, it's that they immediately turn them into points. A lot of teams can get stops, a lot of teams can run, but turning defense into efficient offense. That's a skill set only a few elite squads have. And this year, OKC and Indiana led the charge. For the Thunder, it's almost like a chain reaction. Dort picks up full court, pressures the ball, and forces a bad decision. Wallace jumps the passing lane. J-Dub grabs it and takes off. Shai's already gliding down the middle, Chet trailing behind with a perfect read on where to spot up. Before the defense can even turn their heads, it's 2 points, or 3, over and over again. The Pacers do it differently, but just as effectively. For them, it's movement constant, endless movement. A miss or a steal sparks instant action. Halliburton doesn't walk it up. He scans, he attacks, he kicks. Nesmith running the wing, topping, trailing. Turner filling the lane. It's not chaos, it's choreography. Controlled, rehearsed, relentless, and it's lethal when it's working. By Game 4 of the finals, something became clear. This wasn't a battle of stars. It was a battle of structure. Who could hold on to the ball? Who could force mistakes? And who could turn that chaos into points before the other side even reacted? Through the first 4 games, the team that won the turnover battle won every game. The team that scored more in transition, also undefeated. And in 3 of those games, it was the same team doing both. This wasn't random. This wasn't just about hot shooting nights or lucky breaks. These were patterns, predictable, repeatable patterns. Two stats that had shown us their power all season long were now deciding the biggest games on the biggest stage. And maybe the most revealing part? In the tightest game of the series, Game 5, tied in the fourth, every possession mattering. The final swing came off a turnover. Halliburton got blitzed, tried to throw a skip pass to the weak side. J-Dub read it, stole it, went coast to coast. Thunder up 2, they never trailed again. One turnover, one bucket, one stat doing what it had done all year, predict the outcome. By the end of the series, OKC had won the turnover differential in 4 of the 6 games. They led in transition, points in 5, and yes, they won the title. But here's what makes this even more fascinating. These stats didn't just show who would win. They explained how and why. They revealed the underlying blueprint of a modern NBA champion. A team that doesn't beat itself. A team that pressures you into mistakes. A team that punishes you the